So the number one factor that influences wealth creation is how we think. And we either think with an abundance mentality or a poverty mentality. Putting it differently, we either think without limits or with limits. Everything that we see in the world was first established in the mind, was first created in the mind, was first created through imagination. Mm-hmm. This investment group that you guys are in, it was first imagined, and then there was people had conversations, and now we are actually seated here. Yeah. Isn't it? Even this setting that we are in, someone imagined that we'll sit down like this and have a conversation like this, and people will listen, and they will get nuggets of wisdom, and their lives will change. So it starts with imagination. Now, if you think with a limit, if you think with the limitations, then you also tend to offer yourself to the world with limitations. Let me give an example. Some people out here, you are talking about content creation. Mm-hmm. There are people who are offering their services, isn't it? And they are charging $10,000 an hour. And somebody else is offering exactly the same service, but they are asking for 1,000 shillings for an hour. What is the difference between those two people? Mindset. Is there? Mindset. Is a mindset, isn't it? One really believes that what they are offering has value, and the other one is not very sure that what they are offering has value. There are so many advertising agencies, creative agencies that I've interacted with. Some of them, you cannot talk to them if you're not planning to spend more than 100 million. And others, which are mostly driven by individuals, even when they say 2 million, you're negotiating with them and they're like, it's up for negotiation. In fact, they say, it is up for negotiation. Please don't lock me out. So how you think determines on the value of your offering to the world. Because what you all have here is a skill. Isn't it? Mm-hmm. That's why some people will come when I'm interviewing them. They say, when you ask them, how much salary are you expecting? Very few people will say anything close to $1 million plus. Others, majority of them will say, I am happy to know what the salary band of the company is, and so we can have that conversation when you think I am the right person for the job. What are they doing? It's a defensive move. It's a defensive move. So, but if you're the people who are very confident with their services, very confident with their delivery, and they ask for a lot, they also tend to offer a lot of value. You get it? You'd be like, they are full of excellence. You get it? They are confident that they can actually deliver. So the people who are actually living in the best homes, they are also the same people who are paying huge school fees for their children. They are also the people who are members of the big clubs. It's just the same crew, isn't it? So the thing that really separates them is not that they have two heads, is that they think differently. While majority of us, we were told money does not grow on trees. Yeah. True. We went to an economics class, and the thing that was central to economics was scarcity. Money is scarce, resources are scarce. Isn't it? So we always come from a place of negative. Oh, to get a job is a privilege. No. For me to offer my services to you is a privilege. If you have me, you have a winning team. So, Oh my gosh, this is so difficult for me to say it. If you have been brought up in the slums, you have a very huge mountain to overcome. And the big mountain to overcome is not money, is your mindset. Because you are surrounded by a scarcity mentality. People with, who think in a certain way. It is a privilege to get 50,000. It is a privilege to get 10,000. You get it?
Yeah.
So, but I hear in this conversation, I'm trying to challenge people. The salary, take your salary, what you earn in a month, multiply it by 12, and then ask yourself, how can I earn this in a day? What can I offer and earn my salary in one day? In one day. Once you start having that challenge to yourself, you start thinking differently.
That's true.
The same person, Josephine, the same person who has asked me this question, how is it some people are paying 600,000 school fees per term? Just take your child there. I'm telling you, your mind will start figuring it out.
By fire, by force.
Yeah. So that person who lives in the slum, they are so comfortable paying 1,000, 2,000 shilling rent. And they don't want anything that is more than that. But if you take that same person, you put them in a house in Runda where they need to pay 150,000, 200,000 a month, they will figure out how to pay it. Because now they'll have a gun on their head. Same guy, same mind, different mindset. So one of the reasons why you need to come together in a Chama or investment club is to change your mindset, is to be exposed, is to challenge one another. How come, hey, wait, I've seen Josephine, 2 years ago, she was like us, contributing 5,000. Now she's like, how can I do 100,000 a month? Then you're like, hey, I also need to think differently. When I look at the investment group that I started with, all of us today are in amazing positions. But it's like there was an energy that was being passed around. You get it? Because it is possible for you, then it must be possible for me. And that's one of the, probably the biggest benefit you can ever get by being in an investment group. But then you also must be very careful. Don't bring people who are the same. And that's why I asked the question. If me, I have 50 million shillings and I like your idea and I can fund it with one move, why not allow me to be part of your group? Do you still want equal ownership? It is a limitation. It is a scarcity mentality. It's a scarcity mentality.
Thank you. Look, do you have a question?
Yeah, I think I have a question.
Well, you've very well brought out that aspect, and you also brought out the aspect of how Chamas can be able to use different vehicles, but they need to have a very clear goal as to where they want to be and what they want to achieve. With that in mind and that in place, have you been able to do that for different Chamas, and does Nabo Capital offer such services in creating, there's a term you mentioned, portfolio, for Chamas specifically, that allow them now to then grow to even greater heights?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And that's why I said you need, if you dream of building a home, that dream is in your mind, isn't it? You're like, I want a 3-bedroom house. I want every bedroom to be ensuite. I want a big living room. I also, kitchen is a big thing, so I want this huge kitchen with an island. All that is in your mind. Now, for you to really bring this dream alive, you need to sit down with one person. What's that person called?
Financial advisor.
An architect for a home.
Architect. Oh, shucks. Mimi nafikiria pesa. Yes, an architect.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You are still right,
Mm.
isn't it? Eh? The architect, you sit down in having a convention like this, you empty your dream, and then the next time you meet, they have a whole plan, drawing, showing you every room. Now you start seeing it.
Yeah.
You start seeing it on paper, and you start believing even more. And when they put it on paper, you're like, by the way, I actually did think clearly here. Can you shift this and shift that? Now you're thinking clearly. So now, when you have a financial dream, you need a financial advisor. The financial advisor will help you to put that financial dream on paper. Once it's on paper, you start seeing even more clearly, like, hey, our dream was to be 100 million shillings in 5 years. But we do not have the capacity to make the necessary monthly contributions to make it 100 million. Or we need to think very differently about contributions. We are breaking away from this thing called equal contributions. Now we are out there. We have a grand idea. We are going to go out there, mobilize money, and then start this big dream. You get it? So you start seeing things much more clearly. And then once that is established, this is what we are comfortable. We have 1 million in our money market fund, which will be the seed for our dream, financial dream. And every month we need to contribute a certain amount of money for us to get that. Then that journey starts. That journey starts like that. And now it's site visits. In site visits for financial dream is maybe quarterly meetings with your financial advisor. So as Nabo Capital, we have financial advisors. And that is what the financial advisor is all about. To hold hands, to hold the hand of our customer, to champion their dreams, and to make sure that that dream becomes a reality. And the reason why we call it investing with purpose is because we don't believe in money. We believe in what money can do for our customers. You get it? Money is not good enough. Money is a means to an end. So what is that end? That end is having all of you no longer depend on salary. You will depend on your how much your portfolio is generating passive income, isn't it? Which means now you go to work because you love to do what you do every single day of the year. Or Kate might say, me by the year, my dream, my calling is very different. I want to spend time doing something totally different from what I'm doing today. When you do that, that's when you have a cup of tea, we celebrate, we like, that dream was accomplished. Yeah. So we do that.
All right. Sorry? Okay. Just for the sake of removing
my mic, I keep forgetting, I don't know. Just for the sake of removing ambiguity, there's a term that has been used over and over again, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who has that. And also this term called word blindness, where you can use a word, but you have no idea how to actually explain it. Are you able to define what then a portfolio is? Just definition, simple. Yeah.
So a portfolio is assets which are put together so that they can generate a certain level of cash flows which can meet the dreams of the client. And because we all have very different dreams, then we do not have to have the same portfolio. You understand? So I'm trying to give an example. For example, we have this customer who was our former colleague who passed on and left behind some money and he had said in his beneficiary form, if something happens to him, that we should divide that portfolio into 4: his wife, his mother, his son, his daughter. So we gave the money to his wife because she was an adult and she could do whatever she wishes to do with the money, but the children were minors. So we formed trust for them and said, what is the most important thing that he wanted to achieve for his children? It was to make sure that they never lacked education, whether he was alive or not. So we sat down and said, these children are all in kindergarten or below mid school. In X number of years, they'll be in high school. What kind of high school? We said what sort of school fees will they be paying? Like that. From there, they'll go to university. So we anticipated all the school fees that they will be paying, all the shopping that they will be paying. We said, if we can be able to generate maybe 200,000 shillings every month for, if we can be able to avail 200,000 every quarter or every term to each and every child, we can be able to meet all their school fees needs for the next 12, 14, 15 years. So we now we said, let's buy this asset, and buy this asset, and buy that asset, bring those 3 assets together, that becomes a portfolio. Now this asset, so why are they different assets? Remember, we need money every 3 months. So we need one asset that can give us money very quickly, isn't it? Mm-hmm. The other thing is, this is a very long-term journey. Yeah, we are talking of 10, 15, even 20 years. So we also need assets that can go for a very long time. So we have short-term assets, long-term assets. And then there's anything that can happen in between. So we also have mid-term assets, which can be something that can mature in 5 years. So we combine these things. So we have cash flow that is coming. Then there's growth because of their long-term nature. Those 3 things, they form, together they're called a what?
A portfolio.
A portfolio. Okay. Now the idea of the portfolio is to generate the cash flows as and when they are needed. So now that was in 2006. Today is 2025. That portfolio is still there, even more, but we have educated those children to the end. It's as if this former colleague of ours is still alive. You get it? And that's why a portfolio is very important. Now, can we call that multi-generational wealth?
Yeah.
It is multi-generational wealth,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it has already finished paying school fees for them. Now, if they get married and they have their own children, they can also say, now, this portfolio educated me, now it is going to educate my children.
Okay.
Multi-generational wealth. So you see, multi-generational wealth doesn't have to be a lot of money. It is what it can do over a very long period of time.